Hello and welcome to Building Symfony application series. This episode will be short and what will be done in it is what I wanted to make the terminal smarter. And what I mean by it is that, for example, if I use up and down arrows to go through the executed commands, it just goes through the list one at a time. It doesn't pay attention to what I already typed in the terminal. As an example, let's say if we wanted to run bhat, we could just start with window and to go through all the commands in the history what started with end, but right now the terminal is done and it just simply goes through all the commands. What I wanted to look is this one where I start with end, and if I press up, just goes through all the commands that were executed before that. So I mostly already played around with this, and I have a working solution which is pretty simple. So mostly we're just changing three files. First one is vagrant file. So we just provide the bash aliases file, which is okay. You can open it, which already comes with homestead, and what it does is checks if that file exists, and if it does, it simply creates it in our vagrant box. So that file can actually be named anything. By default it is aliases, but I just changed some things to keep all the terminal stuff in bash directory, and I just named it the way it should normally be. Another change, so bash aliases is simply we make a few aliases for easier navigation, so we don't need to type cd to move back up the directories, and we add shortcuts for git and history. Git in this case won't be used that much, but history is useful from time to time, so just using H letter is much more easier. To avoid entering vendor bin constantly for our testing tools, we just simplify it to just simple bhat php spec php unit, whatever you use, and also to simplify using Symfony console is just prod alias, which runs on production environment, dev which runs and I see a bug in this one. Okay, let's just fix that. It just runs the command on dev environment, and the default one sf is just runs console. And in case we might need from time to time, it's a simple alias for editing our hosts file. And what we added another, so this will simply bash aliases will just add aliases to make it easier to work with terminal, to avoid having put full commands. But I also, to make our terminal smarter, it needs an input.rc file, which simply sets some options how the terminal will work. So for example, we don't care about file case for autocomplete to work, and we show possible completions, and what I wanted is to searching from commands when we already put something in. So to get that file in, I just copy pasted the same lines as for aliases path, and just changed it to input path, and simply if that file exists, just copy it to our Vagrant box. And if you already have an existing environment running, so as you remember, if we start with one, it doesn't work. And if you have an existing environment already running, just do a Vagrant provision. And now it should all be fine. So if we go in, we can check, well, as you can see, we have bash aliases, we have input rc file, and now if we start with vend, it goes through our vendor commands which we executed previously. So that actually helps a lot when developing, in my opinion. And just simply commit all of those changes, commit, and improve development environment with aliases and smarter, how could we say it? Smarter command searching. We should have all of them here. Let's commit it, and three files changed, GS, but everything is fine, and let's just push it. That's it for this episode. The changes were pretty small. We just added aliases and some configuration changes for how the terminal should work, but in the long run they should really help a lot and save a lot of time and effort when developing. So see you in the next episode. Like the video and subscribe to the channel.